Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Anna Alchemist of the Arts here. In this general pick a card reading, we're going to be asking what is going to be different about 2023. This topic was actually chosen by my patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to check that out, they do get to choose some of the reading topics that I read for you guys. This one feels very, very open. I don't want to lead it in too many different directions. I've picked 3 crystals. I have a couple of oracle cards here. Please remember that this is a collective reading. I do offer personal readings if you would like something specific and tailored just for you and your energy. There might be messages for you in multiple piles. Just go with what feels right intuitively for you. If a message doesn't feel like it's for you, or if it doesn't feel like it fits your life or your situation, then leave it. It probably is for somebody else and not for you. You may also be drawn to more than one pile, and that's absolutely okay as well. There might be multiple messages for you, messages in different areas of life. So take as long as you need. Pause the video if you need to make your selection. All of my information is in the description box below, along with all my official accounts. I have one Instagram account only, and I will never DM you or message you asking you to send me money or for a reading. My readings are only available to purchase from my website and Etsy. Right, without further ado, let's get into it. I will see you in your reading. Okay, if you were drawn to set of cards number 1, then this is your reading. You were drawn to this piece of amethyst today. It has this incredible triangle within it, which I just find really unique. Perhaps that's a sign of things to come. But let's start with your oracle cards. As a reminder, this is a collective reading. I do offer personal readings. They're only available on my website and Etsy. All of that information is in the description box below. Please be mindful of scammers. I do only have one Instagram account, and again, the official account is linked below. So let's get into it. We have Lagus from the Viking Oracle. Mithras sacrifice from the Gods and Titans deck, and step out of your comfort zone, North Node. Wow. This is huge energy. This connects to the North Node. This is all about your true calling, your calling in life, your vocation, what it is that you want to do, the ways in which you want to live this life, who you want to be, what you want to achieve, and what you want to do. Now, you're being called in some ways to go with the flow, because we have Lagus here, but this also, the phrase coming to mind is following the path of least resistance. This is focusing your intention and your energy into what you want to do, but knowing this is a marathon and not a sprint. 2023 is going to be different because I think you're going to let go of some of the resistance that you may have held in the past. Whether that was, for some, this is going to be different. For some of you, there is a goal that you really, really want to achieve, and you've tried in the past. It could be weight loss, it could be study, it could be anything. But you'll know what this is. It'll be something that's very important to you, and it feels like something that you have tried to do in the past and perhaps didn't succeed with. Maybe you quit, maybe it was something that you quitting, something that you tried to give up or abstain from, and then you went back to it. And what I'm seeing here is something shifts within you, and you decide this time, it's not even a decision, it just is. You just kind of will this into being. It happens. Your energy aligns with finally making this manifest, but it's a change that manifests within you, and it allows you to move forwards. It allows you to move on. There's an energy here of just releasing what has held you back in the past. Releasing that resistance to allow you to really and truly move forwards. So where there are obstacles or challenges in the past, you know, now you're moving beyond them, and you recognize there may be, if this is something you're working towards, there may be sacrifices. These don't feel like great sacrifices. These feel like sacrifices you're willing to make in this sense of flow and ease in order to move forwards, in order to get ahead. With stepping out of your comfort zone here, it definitely feels like moving yourself in a new direction, moving yourself more towards your true calling, to your pole star. What is that thing that is calling to you? What has that repeated in a message been that just hasn't let you rest? You know, it feels like there is such an energy of will and wanting to move forwards. And you're going to do this time. This is where 2023 differs, because this time you do it, you go for it, and nothing is holding you back. I was going to start with these, but actually, I feel like I'm going to get a couple of dreams of Gaia. My table's really wobbly as well. Sorry, guys. I'm going to get a couple of these, and then I will clarify with the Radiant My Spirit. How is 2023 going to be different? This is really interesting. These are very similar cards. Let's get the bottom of the deck. Okay. There is definitely this logical kind of energy about you here. It's like being very, very clear. It's clear-headed. For some of you, this could be, you know, removing some kind of addiction from your life, or removing distractions from your life. Removing things that you know have not been necessarily the most positive impact on your life. It's choosing to step away from those now, choosing a new path, but from a place where you've tried other things in the past, you've done other things in the past, you may have tried to pursue this path in different ways in the past, and maybe it didn't feel right, maybe things didn't marry up, but with body and mind here in this Four of Air, this is where it all comes together. This is where the pieces of the puzzle come together, where you can see things strategically, where you can see things logically, but not just that. Intuitively, something feels right. You are recognizing those sensations in your body when something feels aligned, or when something is calling you in a particular direction, and equally recognizing where something doesn't feel like it's for you at all. There could have been there could be, you know, this could take a little time to overcome some of this. There could be some sort of disharmony here between different aspects of your life. But I feel like you're going to find the clarity that you need to move forwards with this. For some of you, it could take more thinking through than others. Yeah, there could have been conflict in the past. But I feel like you're going to choose the path that feels least conflicting. And again, with that energy of the path of least resistance, that I don't feel like that feels like it's the easiest path for you. Sorry, the wind has just picked up monstrously outside. It feels like the path that is with the fewest obstacles that you know you have come up against in the past. So whether it's like a dream you have, an ambition, a goal you've set yourself, and normally you would share this with other people, and then those people, maybe it's family members or friends or something, a particular group of friends, a particular friend, or just a particular family member, and then they will sort of almost laugh in your face or put you down, or say it's not possible, or it's going to be really hard, or maybe they just kind of derail you slightly, and it's, oh no, just do this, just it one day won't matter, you know, whatever it is. It's that kind of an energy, and I feel like you're going to have the clarity to be more aware of that this time. And this is where that sacrifice energy comes in. It's having that awareness and choosing the path that you know feels right with you without resistance. It's not going to feel like a sacrifice. It might be sacrificing something, but to you it's not going to feel like a sacrifice because you know this is working out for your greatest good. I just feel like you're going to see things more clearly. And I just keep getting like this time. It's this time. So for some of you, you could really have been trying to do something differently, to make something work differently, perhaps approach something in a different way, or just really invest the energy into something. And this time, it is going to be different. So let's see how. How is this going to be different? Okay. I'll try and put them in order. That King of Swords energy again. Hopefully you can see all of these. The Hangman came out in the reverse, as did the Nine of Cups. There is a determination here to overcome the obstacles of the past. There is some sort of wisdom, illumination, a passion that is igniting within you that makes you want to do different, to achieve different this time. They keep saying this time. Whether this is love, trying again at love, whether this is choosing the path that feels right for you, most aligned to your heart, and choosing something that feels guided for you. It's just like following your passion. You're going to make different choices this year, and this is why this year is different. Because you make different choices. Because you are seeing things more clearly. And you know perhaps where you've sold yourself short in the past, or made choices that didn't get you the results that you wanted. And you're being told here not to be down on yourself or hard on yourself. The past doesn't matter. The past is just your memory of a timeline that doesn't even exist in this present moment. This present moment is all that exists, and there is just the potential of everything in the future ahead of you. And with this clarity, you're going to have a level of determination. And I think determination is the word. But it really is determined. It's just like, head down. I'm doing this. I'm getting on. I'm doing this. Wow. Let's get one of these. Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. Yeah. This connects to that body and mind, this very King of Swords energy, the sage that we've got throughout. Honoring that intuitive knowing as well as the logical mind. Honoring how situations make you feel. This seems like a really big theme at the moment. Recognizing how things impact your mood, your energy, your vibration, whichever word or whatever you resonate with, identify with, when you go into a new place, especially if you're putting yourself in new situations outside of your comfort zone. Recognize how somebody or the situation makes you feel, even though somebody could be saying all the right things. Recognize how you feel in that situation, and then decide what you want to do that is best for you in that situation accordingly. 2023 might be different for you because you finally start putting in some boundaries, maybe being a little bit more selfish with your own needs, but not in a selfish way. It's just honoring your boundaries and your needs. And to other people that might be a bit difficult for them, especially if they're used to you being a bit of a pushover, or I don't mean that with any ounce of disrespect either, but just having what they want from you, having you a certain way, and then you decide that you're going to focus on you and move forwards and make changes in your life, and that could be a shock to some people outside of you. That could be a shock to some people around you, but it feels like it's going to be, well worth it. We've got the root chakra indicated again here with the root portal. And then manifestation, prosperity, fortune, and pure intentions. If you begin to feel overwhelmed, if you begin to feel anxious, if you go to a place of fear, if things feel like they're too much, try and ground yourself. Because we've got Lagos here, I'm actually getting water as a grounding tool. Sometimes drinking a glass of water really slowly can be very, very grounding. Anything that brings you back to your body, it could be standing on the grass outside, it could be going for a walk in nature, but I'm really getting water being quite pivotal for some of you here. Bringing that root chakra back into balance is bringing yourself back into a space of calm where you can think clearly, where you can think without anger being overwhelming, without emotions being overwhelming, even if it's for a moment, you know, so you do get that clarity so that you can move forwards and keep moving forwards. It feels like you've made so much progress, and this year's going to be different because you're going to keep building upon that process. You're going to be stubborn, you're going to dig your heels in for your greatest good and keep going. You know, there isn't any holding back. You're just going to do this and you're going to be really successful in the process. You are going to achieve these goals. You are going to see what it is that you wish manifest. But you do this because it comes from that pure place. And it comes from that place where you might not talk about this to a lot of people. You might not feel like you want to talk to a lot of people about this. It just feels like something that you decide that you're going to do for you, and you're going to believe in yourself and honor that inner wisdom that's coming up and just move forwards with it. I'm actually going to do some charms. I hadn't planned on doing this. But what I want to do is do some charms and ask for what might be really good messages for you. I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly, sorry. What might be really good messages for you for the rest of the year, and signs that you can look out for, things that could be just signs or synchronicities, things, messages, symbols that you're on the right path. So this can be a little bit noisy if you're wearing headphones, or if you've got sensitive hearing, you might want to just turn down or take them off for a moment. Okay. Now we've got this rather grubby pound coin that just kind of tried to roll itself off the table. And interestingly, it rolled into the selenite. The message that came through there was it might be a time to clear away any financial blockages. There are meditations online to do this that can help you, that are completely free to do. But also looking, especially if you're trying to manifest money, there could be situations from the past, because this is old money. The date on here, 1983, that is really old. I say that, it's virtually as old as me. But yeah, it's, look at money patterns from the past. Looking at money patterns from the past that might be holding you back, or you might need to work through. Music, and this is taking me to that place of joy. You know, I feel like when we are singing and dancing and in our joy, in our moment, that's where you know that your energy is in a good place, that you're in a good place, that you feel in a good place. So enrich your life with the things that you love, the music that you love, dance, sing, but also, you know, like an old-fashioned stereo could be a sign for you. We have this unicorn in a hoop here, which just literally speaks to me of believing in the impossible, following your dreams, believing in what isn't seen yet. Just because it's not here yet, just because you're not doing it in this second, or it hasn't happened right now, doesn't mean it's never going to happen. This is all about believing in yourself and believing that things can change. Unicorns could also be a symbol. We've got this jack here, jumping jacks. It's definitely for some of you, building a solid fitness regime, if that is one of your goals, or even if it's for stress, regulating your nervous system, things like that, could be really important. But also, watch for those people that try to knock you off guard. For some of you, I'm just getting Southampton. That's really random. I think it reminds me of the I can't even put into words what that reminds me of, but yes, I'm getting like the coastal region of the United Kingdom around Southampton. That way, ships, docks, the Navy perhaps. For some of you, this might be relevant. I'm just saying what I'm visually seeing. We've got a book here, but it's an old telephone book. So for some of you, an old-fashioned telephone book, because they're quite a rare sight these days, may be a sign for you, but it could also be a sign that you need to look people up. You need to look people up who are going to assist you and support you with these goals, and there might be people that can help you. You're going to find that piece of the puzzle. You know, you will find that piece of the puzzle. This is going to happen for you. With the bee here, it might take some diligence, it might take some work, and this, you know, bees enjoy their work, but they do it for the good of the colony, and they're very, very focused, you know, like a busy bee. And it's not to say you have to overwork yourself and have no fun, but being focused on a goal, one goal at a time, could be really, really beneficial. And we've got the Viking longship here, so definitely travel overseas, making new connections, again with this phone book indicated here, could be on the cards for you. And it could be that that's what helps to bring your success. There could be this desire to travel overseas to new areas, new places, and that could be really beneficial for you over the course of this year. Pile number one, I'm going to leave this here for you. I hope this reading assists you. I hope there was beneficial messages in here for you. As a reminder, personal readings are available, and my official information and official links only are in the description box below. So please feel free to contact me or to take a look at my stalls if that feels right for you. Thank you for being here, and just wishing you the most wonderful 2023. Lots of love. Okay, if you were drawn to set of cards number 2, then this is your reading. You were called to the rose quartz today. Very centered in love, heart awakening, higher realms of love. Before I do your oracle cards, just a reminder, this is a collective reading, and personal readings are available from me if you look at the information in the description box below. They are only available on my website and Etsy, so if anybody DMs you asking for a reading on any platform, it isn't me. It's likely to be a scammer, so please stay safe. Let's do your oracle cards and get into how 2023 is going to be different. And before I do, I've got to say, for some of you, for one of you, there is this message coming through about this being your revenge year. Now, I have never heard of this before, like a revenge year. I'm getting like your you know, like your villain era. But your revenge year is this is like where you take it back for you. It's kind of unfamiliar energy, but I kind of like it. So let's get in and see what comes through. Okay, we've got money. At the time of doing this, we're just approaching the full moon. We've got Maui, discovery, and your hard work is paying off. I feel like you're going to be working through a lot of your own stuff this year. There's just stuff that you are just cutting the dead weight away of. Seeing the higher picture, seeing the higher vision, going out, exploring, and seeing the good coming back to you for everything that you've done, for all the time, effort, and energy that you've invested into yourself, into your work, perhaps a business, into other people. It's like it's starting to pay dividends. You are going to feel the benefit of that. You are going to feel the payoff. This is more than just financial. This means so much to you. It's going to be different because you're going to see, you're not only going to put yourself out there in a completely different way, or just in a way, it's almost like not a completely different you. It's you doing you in a completely different way. It just feels like you are so over some of the things of the past, some of the way things happened for you, some of the things that you went through. some of the ways people treated you. It's like you sold yourself short in some way, pile number 2. Only take this if it resonates, but it's like you were done with this. Over, done. I am done. This year, I'm doing this for me. This is my revenge year. I'm doing this my way, and I'm doing this for me. It's going to pay off. It's... I just can't even describe the energy as a character. I'm trying to think of a character, but it does feel like a character. So for some of you, that might be a message in itself. If this is like your villain era, feeling that energy of like this shift in your character. And for some of you, there could be, you know, if you're not confident, but you're like, I've got to do this. I know I've got to step up and claim this for myself. I have to do this now and claim this for myself. There is this energy of like, this is the character, this is the kind of person that I want to be. And I'm going to do my best to be this person. And you just go out and day by day, you're going to do this and you're going to learn new stuff about yourself. You are going to, you know, Mani references the moon here. And he governs the moon. You're stepping into a new cycle of self-discovery, and it is so going to pay off for you. And all the work that you've done is paying off for you. This is like a whole other level. I'm going to use the Dreams of Gaia Tarot just to get some overall energies. Then I'll use another tarot deck. Oh, there's 2 there. Yes. I like this. Okay. There were situations from the past where you just completely overgave. And it felt like you had to overgive. Or you had to give. And it could have been to do with relationships. For some of you. So for some of you, this won't be for all of you, but some of you could have been through a breakup fairly recently, or perhaps last year, through 2022. And it changed you. Like fundamentally changed you. And for a long time, it was like you didn't know your way. But there is this big release that's happening now. And it's like when you pull your energy back now, and you've focused on you, you're going to reach the point through the course of this year when you do suddenly feel ready to give to somebody else again. But it feels like you're ready to give because somebody's going to come in. We've got the 2 of Water here, which would be the 2 of Cups. And the Ace of Cups on the bottom, the Ace of Water. And these are shuffled and shuffled and shuffled and then some between each reading, between each pile. And right now, before I just put the cards out, there is a brand new person coming into your life, a connection of some kind. It could be a best friend, it could be a soulmate. Soulmates don't have to be romantic, they don't have to be lovers. You could be very happily married. Somebody is going to come back into your life, and they are going to be, I said back into your life, so for some of you it could be somebody from the past, but it could be very well be somebody new. And their ability to, it's almost like a mirroring energy. Maybe they give to you what you've always given to others. It could be a child for some of you. I'm just getting this really pure, gentle energy. Very well-meaning, very, very innocent. I don't feel like there's any untoward feelings here. I feel like you might not trust it in the beginning. And the message here is to remember that you are not your past. All the work that you have done on yourself is to free yourself from the illusions that we placed upon ourselves in the past, or that the conditioning we acquired from past relationships, from past situations, from our families, from society, from television, whatever it was or whatever it feels like for you. Getting out of your head, out of the logical, and realizing that actually maybe I am okay to be who I was, and to be giving and to be loving. But it comes from you pulling this energy back, and you focus on you, and you're living for you, and you're doing what you want to do. For some of you, you might be doing it with a heavy heart as you try and work through the energy, the emotions, this shadow, whatever it is from the past. But I want to tell you, 2023 is going to be different because you are making big shifts. You are doing things differently. It is going to attract new and really, really beautiful connections, or a connection into your life. And like I said, that could be romantic, it could be friends, it could be colleagues, it could be people that just completely enrich your life or your world. And for some of you, it feels like you might be working closely with children. For one of you, for some of you, and it's almost like this one child or this one experience just completely opens up your heart space again. And anything that felt like it was pulling you out of alignment, I feel like you're going to recognize. I don't feel like it's that, actually. I feel like this is more, you're going to realize why you had to experience some of what you've experienced in the past, what felt like stagnation, what felt like being stuck, what felt like having no roots to put down, what felt like being trapped or completely aloof. I think you're going to realize and be able to make sense of what happened in the past, recognizing that actually this beautiful wisdom that you have gained from this situation, and how that's going to help to free you. You free yourself. And this is that hard work, You've invested a lot into a situation, into yourself, into others. And it may not come back to you in the same form, but it is going to come back to you tenfold in unexpected and really beautiful ways. It just feels really, really loving, and it's just so peaceful. So peaceful. And we picked the rose quartz, didn't we? Yes, that's the energy that I'm feeling. It is that beautiful, really centered, calm, grounded heart energy that just is comforting. It's peaceful. This year is going to be exciting. You're going to be working through stuff. You could go to new places. You could try new things. You could hate some of them. You could absolutely fall in love with others of them. It feels like an adventure. It feels like like discovery. It's not all mapped out for you. But I really feel like you're going to meet this one person or have this one experience that's just going to just shift everything for you, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, romantic or not. It's just going to shift your axis. Wow. Okay. We've had the tower that just flew all the way over there. Let's go through with these. Yeah, for some of you, definitely traveling, exploring new locations, new ventures, new horizons. That's the words coming through. Yeah. If the past comes back, it could ruffle some feathers with the people around you. You could be fearing judgment. You could be expecting the same as the past situation. For some of you, this is just a real energy of trying to dispense your judgment, your disbelief that things can be different. And if this is, I feel like this is if connected to work or children, believe it can be different. Absolutely believe that it can be different. Everything can open up for you. Believe that it can be different. Feels like everything can change this year. And it changes when it's like you don't fully like I said, it's like adopting this character. With this Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, you might not fully believe in yourself. You might not fully believe that you can do this, that things will change, that you could be happy again, that you could love again, that you can enjoy life. For some of you, you might feel like after these tower moments, you know, this guy, he's looking out, he's holding his globe, he's looking out into the distance. I can't help but notice this tower flew way off. This is like past towers. He's kind of looking at this tower, looking at his globe and thinking, what the fuck just happened? How did we get here? How did this happen? Excuse my language, I do swear on this channel. It's like you're looking at it and then you go, do you know what? It's just like a peaceful surrender to it. I can't change that, but I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not beating myself up about it anymore. I'm not carrying the weight of this anymore with this Ten of Swords in the reverse. You might not fully believe in yourself, but you know there has to be something more. And there is this nudge of passion, an idea, an inspiration. It could be a real sudden decision, judgment, and you're just like, do you know what? I'm going, I'm doing this, I'm going, I'm gone. And then you just book the flight, or you just make the decision and you just do it. And then once you've done it once, it's like, I really enjoy this. And not just even what it is that you do, but they're doing it impulsively. Yeah, with a chariot on the bottom of the deck. And that might not be something that you've done before. So whilst I wouldn't necessarily recommend making, you know, very quick decisions, it feels like you'll think about it and decide to move towards what feels right for you. What feels exciting. Move towards your excitement. You know, for some of you, you could make very, very quick decisions. But I don't want you to hear this reading and think, oh, I've got to make a decision quickly. No, that's not what readings are for at all. You know, I don't really like that. And that's certainly not my intention of offering a reading. I could never give advice on what to do specifically. Because ultimately we have free will, each of us. It feels like follow your excitement. And this playing a character, stepping into this year, even if you call it your revenge year, I don't think many of you do. That might just be one of you that has said that, and I'm reading that energy for this collective energy that I'm reading right now. This playing of a character is because there's a part of you that still doesn't fully believe that you can do this. But you are going to do this. Your hard work is paying off. And I don't like to say fake it till you make it, but maybe it is kind of that energy. Eagle, see from a higher perspective, definitely take your vantage point. Take what you need. Take the time you need. This also feels like looking at this tower with a higher perspective. Looking at what has happened. Looking at where you can go. Looking at what you can do. Looking at how this situation has taught you. And She-Wolf, unleash the wild within. Definitely time for you to have some fun. Time for you to have some adventure. Unleashing that wild spirit. Doesn't mean you have to do anything wild, but it's unleashing that sense of wild freedom within you. Of what you can do. Of where you can go. Of who you can be. Freedom to imagine. Freedom to dream. Allow that energy out. And again, another reference to this full moon. I can't move on before I've covered this. We have money here, and we have this massive full moon here behind this She-Wolf. Definitely set your intentions at this full moon. I know full moons aren't normally a time for setting intentions. If you're watching it at the time of this reading, this full moon coming up on the 6th of January, tomorrow, probably today by the time this uploads, it also marks the official Yule in Yuletide in the pagan calendar, because of where the full moon falls after the solstice. You know, take a note of what this new beginning means to you. Set some intentions. Release the old. Just the old is done now. The past is done. We cannot change it. So focus your energy into this discovery, self-discovery. Solar portal, I love this. Being centered, balancing power, manipulation. Also speaks to me of confidence. The solar plexus chakra is all about our sense of self, knowing who we are and owning that, embodying that, feeling connected and safe within that. 2023 is different for you, pile number 2, because you're really getting to know yourself, discovering who you are, new depths of self, but doing it in a fun way, living for you, enjoying your life. You know, you could be happily married and decide that it's time for new hobbies or to do new things with your friends, and you could meet a soulmate that really and truly changes your life, or have an experience, a connection with somebody else that just completely opens your heart to a new level. It could be a brand new romantic connection, somebody that teaches you how to love again because they love you the way you love others. And that's rare for many of us. I'm going to do some charms just to finish with, to give us an idea of any kind of messages or signs that you can look through that are going to be a pointer for you that you're on the right track. As I said, that 4111 came up, so 111 might be a sign for you. And again, sorry, I forgot to say, this can be quite noisy. If you're wearing headphones or if you have sensitive hearing, you might just want to take them off for a second. Okay. Oh, YOLO. You only live once. This is a beautiful yellow mood ring. This was one of my daughters. Definitely follow your joy. If you live this year, God's willing, it will not be, but if you live this year like it was your last, what would be on your bucket list? What would you want to do? Where would you want to go? What adventures would you want to have? What experiences would you want to have? You only live once. Make this your year. Definitely travel indicated for some of you. For some of you, it might be a venture overseas, moving overseas, spending more time outdoors. I feel like you could meet somebody in the outdoors. It could be a conversation that struck up when you sat minding your own business on a park bench. But very much, it feels like when you least expect it. The cherries could be a sign for you. I always associate this with the summer, with hot sunny days at the end of summer. So that could be, timing wise, something for you. Manas, the rune of self, mankind, and the person that we show up as within the world. You've got 3 runes here actually. Focusing on you and putting that energy into action here with Turisas. Again, more rose quartz. This is about you deciding what you want and moving towards it. We have Savilo here. Be inspired. Allow the world to inspire you. Allow life to inspire you. You don't need to hold yourself back. Don't hold back your true magic from the world. We have this crazy little dancing shoe. It's like a Cinderella slipper. That's what I'm getting. You know, Cinderella, she goes to the ball. She doesn't think she's worthy, but she gets to go to the ball. And then she loses her slipper. But do you know what? And even when she doubts herself and she has to go back to her humble life, and everything tries to stand in her way, the truth wills out. The truth always comes out. She believed it. And I'm not one for Disney stories, but it just feels like that's really relevant. Shoes could be relevant for some of you. There's stars on here, but I'm just getting Cinderella as well. The 4-leaf clover, one of my personal favourites. Luck is on your side. Believe that luck is on your side. Believe that luck is on your side. And it will be. And we have this little damaged bow here. Take note of the warning signs is what I'm getting from this. This bell doesn't make a noise anymore. So what I'm getting is take note of the warning signs. Excuse me. If they come through, take note of the warning signs, because If you have a very genuine and gentle, kind heart, sometimes we can miss red flags, but I feel like this speaks of the past. But do, trust yourself, trust your intuition. If you notice warning signs, if you get a bad vibe about something, if something doesn't feel right, trust that. Just feel like I need to say that. Okay. Pile number 2. I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to leave this here. Just as a reminder, personal readings are available. All of my information is in the description box below. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me if you made it to the end of this reading. I really appreciate you and I hope you loved it. If you did, feel free to like, share and subscribe, but it's not necessary. I'm just happy to do these. Sending you all my love and I'll speak to you really soon in another reading. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, set of cards number 3. If you were drawn to this, then this is your reading. If you're drawn to the citrine today, I love this piece of citrine. I have smoky citrine. This isn't smoky citrine. But citrine it can connect to a manifesting wealth, attracting wealth. I feel like you are focused on what you're manifesting, what you're attracting into your life this year. But let's do your oracle cards and we'll find out. As a reminder, personal readings are available. This is a collective reading, so please only take the messages that resonate. All of my information is in the description box below, and you can only purchase readings from me through my website and Etsy. If anyone messages you telling you need a reading, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever it isn't me. It's most likely a scam, so please use my official links only. Thank you. Okay, let's get your cards. You actually got 2 of these. Okay, we've got Raido in the reverse and Gibu. We've got Set, Chaos, and Work Through Your Fears, New Moon in Scorpio. Okay. You've been through a lot, pile number 3. You've been through enough is what you're saying. Your higher self, your guides, whoever it is, they're like, you've been through enough. Well, what that means in terms of life and how things are going to be different this year, you're not forcing anything this year. Right there in reverse, you're not forcing a thing. What you are doing is allowing things to flow to you. You are open and receptive. You are perhaps focused on manifesting. Perhaps you have studied manifesting or reading into manifesting, or just consciously trying to work with your intentions, with the blessings of the universe, going into the place of surrender and being like, okay, do you know what? This is going to be all right. I am not forcing anything. Anything that isn't meant for me this year can just go away. It can slide. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to push it. We have Gibu here, which speaks of reciprocal energy. And in terms of giving and receiving energy from other people, it can speak of equal balance. It can speak of love, of blessings, of harmony. That beautiful relationship. It can symbolize romantic relationships. But I also view it with the ways in which we work with the essence of the universe, with the essence of the weird, with the essence of consciousness. We attract what we are. That's that co-creative balance of energy once again. It feels like in order for things to be different, in order for things to change, there is a level of needing to release fears from the past. But I feel like you've done a lot of this work. This is already a process underway. We'll look into Set and Chaos and see what he has to say for himself. I mean, chaos can be changed. The Haggler's Rune speaks of chaos to me. And that can speak of change. And it isn't something that a lot of people... We have a flip card. It isn't what a lot of people want to hear. It was the Ace of Earth, if anyone was wondering. The Ace of Pentacles. Many people don't want to invite chaos into their lives, but sometimes chaos calls and it's a necessary evil in order to make things change. It can be the necessary shove. Oh, here's a story for you. My cousins will laugh if I tell you this. We used to go away on family holidays every year as children. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but it feels apt, and it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. We used to go on family holidays as children to the coast and in the UK and England, in the south of England. And we would all jump in off the cliffs into the sea, and it was really beautiful, and it was quite adventurous and quite daring, except I was very scared. And my cousins would push me because I was too scared to jump in. And it's that kind of energy, because once I did it, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was a wonderful experience and a happy memory now. There's no fear connected to it, but sometimes chaos is that shove in the back from the universe that gets us to work through our fears and pushes us in a new direction, because without it, we would have stayed exactly where we were, and we could have done in a very Capricorn fashion, just clung to that rock for dear life for as long as we needed to be there. So that feels like what Set's all about in this reading. I'm going to use the Dreams of Gaia Tarot and just get some cards for you. How is 2023 going to be different, please? I love that card. She's one of my favourites in the whole deck. Anything else? Thank you. You're going to be dancing with the chaos. Owning the chaos. Letting go of the previous identities of self where perhaps you didn't deal well with change. These fears, the things that held you back or have held you back or still do hold you back. What's changing this year is you're learning to embrace yourself in all ways, at all stages. And true self-love is not loving the self when the self is in her best state. It's loving the self when we've fucked up or we've done things that perhaps we know we've had to work through in the past. Or I'm not trying to say that we have to accept and exonerate ourselves from poor behaviors, but it's loving all versions of ourselves, regardless of the scars, regardless of how we might see ourselves as flawed. You're moving away from that way of thinking. And potentially with this 3 of Fire here, this would be the 3 of Wands, potentially moving away from what you feel like no longer serves you, because you are realizing what it is that you're worth. Realizing your true self-worth, not the self-worth that you've been sold. Yeah, there she is. Not this version of self-worth that you've been sold. Not all the ideas of everything that you thought you had to be. This is recognizing your true power, your true strengths, your true individuality, your soul source essence that nobody else could ever replicate. There will only ever be one of you, and you are absolutely destined to be all that you have been, will be, and are in this present moment. And perhaps if you look at life as, I mean, we do have to walk a fine line of not accepting. Again, I'm back to that clinging to the rock thing. Sometimes we get too comfortable. Sometimes we get too comfortable in our fear or our discomfort. Something has to come along and give us a shove. But this shove, if there is one, or whatever it is that you work through, it's done in a way that you see the benefits from it. You feel the benefits from it. You're not forcing things. You're not forcing situations. You're not forcing people. You're manifesting. You're focusing on your attraction. Not physical attraction, but what it is you are attracting into your life by where your baseline energy is. Yeah. You could have been holding on to this idea that there was something wrong with you for a very long time, pile 3. Or that there was something not wrong with you, a flaw that needed fixing, a constant need to be fixing. You could have held on to that for a very long time, but now you've come to this place where it's like, no, do you know what? I'm actually okay. Like, perhaps I'm not all bad here. I feel like this could be a process with you. We've got the South and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. There could have been people, could have been a person, a situation, or just the feelings about yourself that have made you feel a bit shut down, or like you've forgotten your magic, or you don't believe in your magic, but you're going to get that back. And you're going to come to this place of feeling really grounded. You've got one queen, yeah, the Ten of Swords. You've got one queen in the upright and one in the reverse. There could have been big changes in your world. There could have been changes within yourself that mean the world feels less stable as it was in the past, and how you identify with it. You yourself, you're healing. You're coming to a far more internally stable place, building upon this foundation where you know your worth, where you know your value, where you know what it is that you have to offer, and ending a difficult cycle. I mean, you could have been betrayed and hurt more times than you want to think about, yes. Especially by a past lover or past situation, or something that really, really mattered to you could have left you feeling very, very broken-hearted. I feel like this is what you're healing. This is what's being overcome this year. You've got the Sun, the Lovers, and the Star in the reverse here that's just come out. With the Queen of Swords, the Ten of Cups in the reverse, and the High Priestess. Knight of Wands in the reverse. You could be healing from something that's really, really weighed on you. And you know, but you know, you come to this point of realization that settling for something that wasn't good for you would have been selling yourself short. You're looking at this happy ending that wasn't now with damn sight clarity, square in the eyes. You can see this Queen of Swords. She's giving it some of that. To this Ten of Cups in the reverse. And it's like you have the opportunity to let this go and to build something new and beautiful and completely different. With the High Priestess here, she has the ability to work her magic and to manifest. She can weave and create her future in the way of her choosing. Understanding that your past does not define you, and that past experiences do not have to repeat. We release ourselves from patterns when we focus on our growth and healing. But whatever changes occur in your life this year, you are going to overcome them. You will overcome them and come back to your place of strength. The difficulties could have already happened, and now you're coming back to this place of strength. And 2023 is different because you're seeing it with clarity. You're seeing the past for what it was. And that clarity enables you to move forwards. It frees you and it enables you to move forward into the future with freedom. Water Garden, connect with your emotions. Yes, the past could definitely have cut you off from your emotions or made you feel like it wasn't safe to express your emotions. Perhaps you've just been in survival mode. We all go there. And then you just have to focus on coping and dealing with whatever you're dealing with in that moment. And there's stuff to process here, but it's okay because you're going to do that. Moon, take note of intuitive messages, especially around this full moon. If you're watching this at the time it's released, we have a full moon literally today if this is uploaded tomorrow. That was really confusing, but yes, around this time of this being filmed, the moon is very nearly full. So take note of any intuitive messages that happened around, if you're watching this later, around the beginning of January. take note of your dreams, take note of those messages, the clarity that might drop in, what changes, because this is going to benefit you. I promise you, even if you go through difficult times this year, you are ending a difficult cycle, difficult patterns, long-standing patterns that could have challenged you your entire life, so you can manifest your utopia. There is definitely new coming in for you, but I feel like this is as much about you recognizing that you deserve it and that you're worthy of it. And I feel like that could be something that has been lacking from your life previously. So I'm going to do some charms just to pull through any messages or signs that could be signs for you over the year ahead. This can be a bit noisy, so if you're wearing headphones, I would definitely just take them off, or if you've got sensitive hearing, just turn it down for just a moment. Right, dream big. Absolutely. Head in the clouds thinking for manifestation. And I know that might sound crazy, but the more I've studied it, that's what it comes down to. Imagine it, dream the life that you want to have. And don't sell yourself short. You know, the 10 of Cups that was in the past that maybe didn't come to be, allow it to shift. You've got 2 chains here. This is my ball and chain, you know. This is you letting go of that weight. Anything that has held you back, that's made you feel constrained. This is letting that go now. A literal ball and chain. Oh, and the song, I came in like a wrecking ball, just came through. Those could be signs for some of you. Those could be messages for some of you. We have a screw here. I'm just getting the message, like, this is like, it gets done up tight. You are fixing things and it gets like done up tight. You are not taking any chances. Key. You are the key to the lock that opens everything. Also closely linked to Hecate if you like deities. This year is a key. And it's going to surprise you. It is going to be a surprising year. And some of those surprises may be unexpected. Some of them may be more, less of a surprise. But yeah, it's like expect the unexpected. And mind your car tie. Check your car ties. Some of you need to check your car ties. This is a beautiful rock from the ocean. It's from a very special beach that I really love very much, but I love it because it's full of these holes. It reminds me of a volcanic rock. And I'm getting like Sicily as a place. So I don't know whether one of you want to travel to like a volcanic climate, but that might be something that you're thinking about, dreaming about. It feels like a sense of purification. I'm also getting like the Dead Sea. We've got this tiny little Mjolnir, Thor's hammer here. Remember your strength and that you're mighty even when you feel small. All 3 have had this out today. A sense of travel, new adventures, new climates, new places to go. Definitely pursue that. We have the shield here. This shield can speak of protection. It can speak of ancestral protection. I would definitely tune into those intuitive nudges from the universe. Tune into your guides. For some of you, 2021 is coming through. And also the month of November. Because this is the poppy. There could have been changes from your life from that time, which you're only fully beginning to see with clarity to overcome now. But this is the message, this is the sign that you are overcoming this, and this year will be different. You're traveling to new places. And it doesn't just have to be something that you're overcoming from then. It's just something that happened then is now changing. It's getting put right for some of you. So Virgo, expect sudden change. This can be lightning strike of inspiration. It can be a new awareness, an epiphany, confidence. again, expect the unexpected. They just keep saying that. But I don't want that to be in a negative way, because you are very, very protected. And any time, if you feel overwhelmed, call in your guides, ask them for protection, ask them for their assistance. And you have the dice here. Reminds me of being playful, playing games. It landed on the 4 and there was a 5. 45 might be relevant for some of you. But I feel like having a more playful energy could be really positive and beneficial for you this year. Just seeing if anything else is going to come through. Trust in what is changing. As the changes occur, if things change, trust in what is changing. Because you are like manifesting a new life, and for that to happen, things have to change. But that can be very intimidating at the same time. So pile number 3, I'm going to leave this here before you, but just thank you for being here. As a reminder, personal readings are available. All of my official information is in the description box below. If you enjoyed this reading, then please feel free to like, share and subscribe. But thank you for being here. I absolutely love reading for you, and just wishing you a really happy 2023 and a happy full moon. And I will see you again in another reading. Take care. Bye-bye.